Hello and welcome back. If you are here and you clicked on this, please know that I've already done the first 7 episodes, so I choose to do them separately, which means I'm actually in a moment where, unlike the rest of the world, which I think woke up on Friday and watched both 8 and 9 back to back, I watched 8 and then I'm going to watch 9. So I'm like in a pause. I'm in a letting it breathe moment between the two, which is kind of great because the episode 8 was an hour and a half. So it's like watching a movie. I ended up watching movies today that were an hour and a half long. So this was like the same runtime as those. This is gonna have spoilers. I'm John Stark, Mac the Movie Guy, and I'm a blind film critic. So you've been warned with everything, and you know that I can't comment on the gnarliness of special effects. But I did get to watch this with audio description, so I do know what's going on. I'm gonna say that this is not my favorite episode of Stranger Things. I think they saved all of it for the final episode, which is pretty clearly obvious because in one of my earlier reviews where I gave one of the only episodes, I believe it was 2 or 3, where I gave it an A-. I called it a moving chess pieces around episode where all it's supposed to do, all it's trying to do is to get the chess pieces that are on the board moved around so that they could be in certain locations for the finale, and I think that's kind of what we got. We spent kind of an equal amount of time with everybody, maybe the least amount of time with our Russian group, but we did spend time with them. So we did get to see their chess pieces being moved on the board. I was making some predictions just among my friends about, because everybody's like, who's gonna die? And I predicted the other Russian guy, who's not Yuri, whose name I constantly forget. This is never a good sign for character survival. I actually didn't think they were going to take Yuri with them, because that's why I thought, I was like, oh, we're just never going to see him again. I assumed that, and I assumed wrong. So Yuri is continuing on in this adventure. I guess to be expendable. Cool. It's good to have Hopper back. And I don't know what the Russia crew is going to do. And we'll see. The California kids, as I've been calling them, those, Argyle and Jonathan and Will and Mike, they're headed to where 11 is. And Argyle somehow proves useful because he's able to tell what tire tracks are, like specifically tire tracks. This dude is like a walking, like whatever the TV show needs him to be character. He's like, dude, you need a van? I got a van. Dude, you want me to tell you what tire tracks those are? I can tell you like specifically exactly what tire tracks those are. Like, I can't even wait to see what he offers in the finale. He's probably going to have some random knowledge that he shouldn't even have. He should be like, yeah, man, I could totally, like, fly that plane. I have, like, a pilot's license and everything. Like, it'd just be like, why does Argyle... It's the worst character this season. So they made their way out there just in time. 11 was, she's sort of awakened, and Papa is being a dick. And long, short story, Paul Reiser gets, he's pushing for 11 to be released so she can go save her friends. Papa's like, no, we're not letting her go. She's not ready. And so he like locks Paul Reiser up, and then he stabs 11 in the neck and tries to get her to stay. But the whole thing ends up becoming a giant shit show because the government kind of eventually finds out where Eleven is, and so Eleven has to go scorched earth on the facility, and eventually, because Eleven can see what is happening with the Hawkins gang, after she's reunited with the California kids, she's like, we gotta go. You don't understand. Like, they're all about to die. Shit's getting real. Let's go. And looks like that Papa is he's dead. So, but then again, we thought he was dead last time. So who knows? And over at the Hawkins gang, they seem to be raring to go. I will say, for those of you still in this review, I loved the moment that said to me, we're killing Steve. Just to let you know, we're killing Steve. And we watched The Walking Dead. And we're going to recreate this exact same scene. And we'll see if anybody picks up on it. Because I totally picked up on it. Steve was the one that was driving this RV. Anybody else remember scenes with RVs in Walking Dead? Anybody else remember when they were using the RV in Walking Dead? It's right around the time of Negan. Anybody else remember the group and how they got into the RVs and they were heading off because they thought Negan's group was a lot smaller than it was? And who was driving one of those RVs? It was Abraham. And Abraham was having a conversation with Sasha. And he was talking about making the batter. He was talking about wanting to have kids with Sasha. And what was happening at the front of this RV. Steve was talking about the family he always envisioned with kids next to Nancy. So we had a recreation of almost the exact same scene right before a character's death in The Walking Dead was recreated in Stranger Things. And I do not think that is just happenstance. I think that is intentional. I think that's like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to people who watch genre television. And that was put there as a reason. They didn't need to have the conversations of that story. Anybody could be driving that RV. But Steve was driving the RV, and his love interest was sitting right next to him. So that's the same thing that happened before Abraham got smashed in the head with a bat. And we also found out that Jason and his gang are picking up weapons. I guess back in the 80s, just anyone could buy a gun. Just gun laws in Hawkins. Nancy just rolls up and she's like, can I buy a shotgun? And Jason's like, oh, let me have that handgun over there. And just buying guns. And of course he's super creepy about it. This guy used to be like Zac Efron, like charming, and now he's just like deranged. I know he's seen a lot and been through some stuff, but he's gone, dude. Like, if this series doesn't kill off Jason, I'd be shocked. If he doesn't die in the final episode. As for probably really realistically, like all of the basketball team, they could probably all just vanish. And Lucas could just be like, hey guys, I'm the only one on the basketball team. I have to I have to hold tryouts and start over. Yeah, he's a bit much, and they all kind of run away from him. But that's they have an idea of how they think they can kill Vecna, and Max is willing to let herself be put in the line of fire, and I just have a feeling that this is not going to work out for her the way she thinks it is. I have a feeling this isn't going to work out for that gang the way things is. I've not seen the final episode, but right now, based on where everything is, I think there could be some deaths for sure. I don't think we need any Russians after this season. I can't imagine why we would have them. So I think Russians will die, both of them. I think I don't know if I think or I hope Argyle, because I don't think he's smart enough to survive a situation. So I think when he's put in any situation, but then again, he can just tell tire tracks just from looking at them. So maybe he's like some savant. I don't know. But I just feel like Argyle, because I think they're going to need to all come back to Hawkins, and Argyle is a California native. There's no reason to have him return for another season. So once everybody gets back, I feel like the final season's going to happen in Hawkins. Why would Argyle be there? So what's it going to do? Stay in Hawkins and be like, no, there's no life for me out in California. I'm just going to stay out here and just annoy the shit out of everybody. Like I said, I feel like Jason's got to go. I'm a little bit more iffy on whether or not any of the main kids, I don't think any of the young ones will. I don't think we're headed for, because there's a final season, and I think for the final season, you're definitely going to see Will, Mike, Lucas, Dustin, and Eleven, for sure. Lock those in. They've been there since the beginning. If Max had been there since the beginning, I'd throw her in, but she's really only been here since last season. I think they've teased Max and Nancy too much for them to work as deaths. They've teased Steve a little, so I think it's Steve, Robin, and Jonathan are more up in the air, with Murray being an outside chance. I don't know about Eddie. The thing about Eddie is if they don't keep Eddie, they don't really have anybody to sustain from this season, because I can't see them keeping Jason. And if it's not Jason, it's not Eddie. That means it's fucking Argyle, and it can't be fucking Argyle. So, no, I refuse to believe that Argyle will be the character that hangs out from season 4. I also think it's entirely possible that the current sheriff will perish, because if Hopper comes back, they don't need him anymore. So there's always a possibility for that too. That's where I'm at. I'm going to watch the other episode tomorrow and then do a review. We'll see what we got. But Stranger Things, yeah. But the audio description was fine. As you could tell, I was able to follow everything, so that's a good sign. Tansy Alexander did more great work. Again, not my favorite episode. Even with everything that went on, it honestly just felt like connecting the dots and preparing people for the final episode. And this one was like an hour and a half long. It was an hour and a half of connecting the dots and preparation. So that was unnecessary. I'm going to give Stranger Things season 4, episode 8 an A-. I still love the show. It's just not my favorite episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. And you can go to the Audio Description Project and the adna.org. Those are the websites I always put at the end. And I'll see you when I finish this show.